Top 15 historical places that must be visited in Europe. Do you enjoy visiting historical places from around the world? Well, why don't you pack your bags and get ready for some ancient yet magnificent adventures and wonders of Europe? Historical sites are a must-see for any traveler whenever they travel to a new country. Some of these sites served as living memorials to historical occasions, in addition to showcasing early architectural marvels that have weathered the test of time. Every nation is proud of a number of historical landmarks, but nothing better embodies history than the historical sites in Europe. At number 15, Wall East Side Gallery, Berlin, Germany. Germany split apart after the Second World War in 1945 when the Soviet Union attempted to impose its dominance in the eastern region of the nation in an effort to undermine the Allied powers' control over the rest of the city. Its attempt to maintain complete control over East Germany and obstruct transit to the west was symbolized by the Berlin Wall. The wall was built starting in 1961 and was finished in 1980. Once constructed, the wall's construction made it impossible for individuals to cross it illegally, and anyone attempting to do so was shot dead on the spot. The remaining portion of the wall is now being painted by artists in an outdoor exhibition. For history buffs, viewing the interesting graffiti and wall fragments is a must. Number 14. Windsor Castle, Windsor, England. Anyone visiting London should make a day trip to Windsor Castle. You'll think you've just traveled back in time, hundreds of years to a time of princesses and knights. The castle, which dates back to the 11th century, continues to serve as the king's weekend residence today. The castle is available to the public while the king isn't there. You may see the changing of the guards or go to one of the many free events. Number 13. Old Royal Palace, Prague, Czech Republic. Contrary to common opinion, for security concerns, the royal homes of the kings, queens, and their families were not located in the main castle or palace. To prevent assassins and other threats from getting to them, they were living in a different area of the palace complex. The Czech royal family's first home throughout the 9th and 10th centuries was the old royal palace in Prague. However, the palace was completely deserted throughout the 15th century, and it wasn't until 1483 that the final construction of the palace took place, adding the Gothic-style Vladislav Hall. The original building was made of wood, but during the 12th century, a larger stone Romanesque palace was built on the site. This palace was later enlarged to include new areas like the All Saints Chapel, under the discretion of Charles IV and Wenceslas IV. Notwithstanding a fire that broke out at the palace in 1541, the destroyed parts were rebuilt right away. Number 12. Grassalkovich Palace, Bratislava, Slovakia. When visiting Slovakia on your upcoming European vacation, be sure to take a picture in front of the Grassalkovich Palace. The summer house, which was first built for a Croatian aristocrat, was crucial to the development of Baroque music in Bratislava in the 1800s. Joseph Haydn, one of the most famous musicians to perform at this palace, presented some of his masterpieces to the Habsburg court. However, ownership of the palace quickly changed to the Slovak government from 1939 to 1945, and then after 1945 to the Council of Commissioners, who used it as a children's activity center. In the 1990s, when communism began to crumble, restoration works were launched to repair the harm done by its former tenants. After it was completed in 1996, the palace was used as the President of Slovakia's official house, and its grounds are currently a park open to the public. Number 11. The Colosseum, Rome, Italy. The history of the enormous Roman amphitheater is dark and deadly. The Colosseum was a gift from Emperor Vespasian to the Roman people and was constructed between 70 and 72 AD. This is currently a popular tourist destination and was once a place of devastation where people could watch fatal gladiator and wild animal contests. The arena served as a venue for entertainment for 4 centuries, but eventually preferences began to shift and the Colosseum started to deteriorate. The Colosseum still draws millions of visitors each year who are eager to see one of the wonders of the old Roman Empire, despite the fact that 2/3 of the original structure is no longer there. Number 10. Hallstatt in Vienna, Austria. Visit the Austrian village of Hallstatt if you want to experience life between 800 and 450 BC or the early Iron Age. During the Neolithic period, a small society reportedly lived in the region and labored in its vast salt mines. The world's oldest pipeline, which was allegedly present in the town and used to help exhume bones for simpler burial, is also supposed to be located there. The preserved settlement is now a part of the Dachstein-Salzkammergut cultural landscape, one of Austria's World Heritage Sites, and it is also the location of the Hallstatt Museum, a unique museum that houses artifacts from the Hallstatt civilization and the Iron Age. Number 9. Alhambra, Granada, Spain. This UNESCO World Heritage Site fortress, which is situated just outside Granada, serves as a reminder of the city's long-ago Arab control. The Moorish fortification was initially constructed in the 9th century, but it underwent a magnificent transformation in the 14th century. The elaborate building, which is now standing as a castle and palace hybrid, is stunning in its intricate beauty. Every year, visitors swarm to this historical monument to mentally travel back in time and experience what it was like to be a member of the aristocracy in the 14th century. Number 8. Brandenburg Gate, Berlin, Germany. One of Germany's most famous structures, the Brandenburg Gate was built in the 18th century after Berlin experienced peace in the early years of the Batavian Revolution. The neoclassical gate was a component of Carl Gotthard Langen's Greece on the Spree and was modeled after the Propylaea, the main entrance to the Acropolis. It has 12 Doric columns that are evenly spaced to allow for smooth movement. And Johann Gottfried Schadows' sculpture of a quadriga is perched above it. Its original name was the Peace Gate or Friedenstor rather than the Brandenburg Gate. The gate played a significant role in German history because of its emphasis on peace and unity, particularly during the reunification of Germany and the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1990. This is a place you absolutely must visit, even if you're just passing through Berlin on a flight. Before we move on, why not tell us in the comments below from what country you're watching this video? Who knows, your country will be next to be featured. Don't miss out to be notified by subscribing for more travel video updates. Number 7. Auschwitz concentration camp, Krakow, Poland. The mass murder of thousands of Jews and other prisoners of war by the Nazis in concentration camps across Europe was one of the darkest episodes of the Second World War. The Auschwitz concentration camp in Poland is one of the concentration camps that are still operational today. With over 1.3 million Jews killed throughout its operations, the concentration camp is regarded as the greatest location in history to be used for mass murder during the Nazi era. The camp was established in 1940 and served as the Nazis' headquarters until November 1944, when Germany was finally overthrown. In addition to the mass murder of Jews and POWs, the camp evolved into a horrifying laboratory wherein the Nazi scientists conducted unapproved experiments on captives. After it was free, the camp has been home to the Auschwitz Museum, which exhibits the belongings of its victims, and sections of the camp may now be visited. Number 6. Matthias Church, Budapest, Hungary. The Matthias Church must be seen in Budapest while seeing Buda Castle. Before the Ottoman Turks utilized it as a mosque for 150 years, this neo-Gothic church, which was constructed in the Middle Ages, served as the coronation church for numerous Hungarian monarchs for several centuries. Frigyes Schilek oversaw the construction of the present church building between the years 1873 and 1896. The church is now utilized for purposes other than religious ones, such as monthly concerts by the Hungarian Virtuosi Chamber Orchestra. Number 5. The Acropolis, Athens, Greece. The most well-known structure from ancient Greek civilization is located at this UNESCO World Heritage Site. It is situated in front of Agora, a city in ruins where you can see old courthouses and libraries. In 447 and 438 BC, the Acropolis, an antiquated representation of democracy, was constructed. In spite of its significance, it has since been taken apart and put back together numerous times. Until this cultural issue is settled, if you want to see the full scope of the Acropolis, you'll have to visit the statues that are housed in the British Museum in London. Number 4. Romer in Frankfurt, Germany. You may have spotted a curiously formed building in Frankfurt next to the old St. Nicholas Church. The Romer of House Romer is the structure in question. When it was sold on March 11, 1405 to become the place's city hall, the Romer was formerly owned by a wealthy merchant family that resided in the city. The structure depicts a number of historical aspects of the city, including the four Kaisers who gave Frankfurt various distinctions. Although the structure has seen many additions throughout the years, the majority of the rooms still have their original layout. You can choose from a wide selection of lovely hotels that are closer to Romer. This will give you the freedom to thoroughly and leisurely explore Romer. Number 3. Budapest Hero Square, Budapest, Hungary. Birthdays should be celebrated in a unique fashion, which is why Hungary established Hero Square to mark its 1000th birthday, one of the largest squares in the nation. It was constructed in 1896. It includes the Millennium Monument, a structure that commemorates the 1,000-year history of the Magyars, together with the statues of Hungary's most significant historical personalities and rulers. The monument also features statues of Archangel Gabriel and the 7 chieftains of the nation's Magyar tribes. In the number 2 spot is Ruins of Pompeii, province of Naples, Italy. You must schedule a visit to one of the most fascinating historical locations even if you're traveling to Italy. About 2,000 years ago, Mount Vesuvius abruptly erupted, engulfing the infamously doomed city of Pompeii in lava and ash. The poor citizens of Pompeii died almost instantly as a result, yet the city was magnificently preserved. You can go now to see a recreation of 79 AD daily life, when a prosperous Roman Empire ruled over Pompeii. The structures still house preserved individuals going about their daily lives together with all of their possessions, including tools, furniture, and gold. Seeing a city that has been frozen in time since over 2,000 years ago is a fascinating historical excursion. And number 1 on our list is Prague Castle of Hradčany Castle, Prague, Czech Republic. You should visit Prague Castle to round off the top 15 historical sites you should see at least once in your lifetime. The most famous structure in the Czech Republic is Prague Castle, which is also the largest castle complex on record. The structures, which range in style from Romanesque to Gothic, have undergone continuous renovation and maintenance over the past few decades. The castle is accessible to the general public, and each area highlights a particular period of Czech history that would interest many tourists. So, which historical site made you excited to visit first? Let me know in the comments below. If you receive value from our videos, please subscribe and push that notification bell to be updated on our next travel videos. And share this with your travel buddies. Send us a request. Comment down below on which continent or country we should feature next. If your request is granted, you'll have a shout out on our next video. Till next time, safe travels.